Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for not going to the beach. Yes. I know that if the weather was better than this, that's exactly where you would be, isn't it? Yes. Now, in the beginning, there were film strips. And I bet you don't remember these as teachers. Some of you might remember them as students. Is that right? Look at these boys. Look at them. They're good boys. And I never used these as a teacher, and I'm going to guess none of you did. You all look far too young for this. You've never used these as a teacher, but you remember them as a student. Yes? I don't know, does anyone remember David A. Hill? David A. Hill. He wrote this. He says that the technology, talking about film strips, required highly accomplished technical skills on the part of the teacher with a film strip projector and a tape recorder to synchronize, as well as handling a class of students in the dark. It took commitment and dedication to the job, didn't it? Yes. And then, in the 1970s, along came this sort of stuff.
Good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
My name's Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
What's your name?
Jane. My name's Jane.
Ah, yes. Jane. My name's Sam.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Ooh, what a creep. What a creep is Mr. Smith. Oh. Anyone here live in Spain or speak Spanish? That's what you would call a pulpo. Am I right, Jules? A pulpo. Ah, Mr. Smith. And I suppose that people got really, really excited about all this sort of stuff because video, TV programs, because this wasn't video back then, this was scheduled, content created for language learning, it meant we could bring real life situations into the classroom, and that's what got people really excited. Who remembers the 70s? Anybody? You know, I have a friend called Robert. He's retired, and he was a teacher back in the 70s, and he was working for this school. They got really excited about the possibilities that this sort of thing offered, and his DOS, his Director of Studies, told him, he said, this is the best way to use video. This is what you have to do. You have to play the video for your students, and then you have to play it again, and then finally, you ready for this? Play it again. That was it. Revolutionary, no? And then along came these things. Do you remember these? What's this? A video cassette recorder. Do you remember them coming at the top? You had to be very careful not to get confused with your toaster. And people got really into these, and schools spent money on them. What about the 80s? The 80s came next, didn't it? The 80s often regarded as the golden decade. The golden decade for video and language education. And we got these publications. I don't know how many of these you remember, how many of these you've used, how many of these you've still got. How many of these have you read? Put up your hand and show me. That's none. You've got 5, 2, wow. Fantastic, fantastic. 3. So these kind of publications and these authors just introduced us to what came to be known as active viewing. Does that still mean anything to anyone? Active viewing? No? Active viewing? What kind of activity are we talking about when we talk about active viewing? Here's a few. Who remembers video prediction? Silent viewing? Ah, yes. Who could forget? Audio first? Yeah. Jigsaw viewing? That surprises me. This is a very interesting one, jigsaw viewing. Back to the screen? Yes. How many of these have you used in your teaching in the last year? Show me a number. 1, 1, 1. Which? 4, 3? Wow, okay. Okay. Let me give you an example of one of my favorites. We call this the audio first. So you can hear it, but you can't see it. All right, you're going to hear a mystery video. You're going to hear it, but you can't see it. Where are we? What's going on? How many people are there? What are they doing? Why does someone scream? And why does it end in laughter?
Let go, mate.
Who's got an idea?
It's the chicken.
It's the chicken. Which chicken?
A chicken.
A chicken.
I read it somewhere.
A random chicken.
Yeah.
So why did this chicken cause somebody to scream?
Because it was startled by a chicken.
Somebody was startled by a chicken.
And it's half dinosaur, a chicken.
It's true, isn't it? A chicken isn't a chicken full dinosaur?
Just the legs.
Just the legs. And then why did it end in laughter?
Because they realised it was a chicken.
Okay. Don't you love that? So a chicken popped up from behind a bush, and who did it scare? Who are these people?
The person who screamed, it's a family.
It's a family. So a family are out for a Sunday stroll, a Sunday walk.
They might be looking for dinosaurs.
They might be looking for dinosaurs, they might not. They go past the bush.
And out jumps the dinosaur.
Out jumps this dinosaur, or so they think. Then you realise it's not a dinosaur, it's a chicken. You must have seen this video before, am I right?
I've read it somewhere.
Great. Any other possibilities here?
Yes. Mother and a child in the playground, and a dog comes and she screams.
So a mother and a child in the playground, and a dog jumps out, or a dog jumps up from where?
From the bush?
From the bush.
Where the chicken lives.
Is this dog and this chicken, are they in cahoots? Now, when I entered into language teaching, the year was, if I'm not mistaken, it was 2001. And this is what I associated video with. Do you remember these? I got this image off Reddit. People were sharing these photographs, feeling nostalgic. Very lovely. And mine was quite dangerous. I remember thinking how dangerous it would be if it fell on top of a student. It had quite a high centre of gravity. But teaching's always been dangerous, hasn't it? And my staple, my content, the type of stuff I used was like this: Mr. Bean, Wallace and Gromit, Fawlty Towers. Who could forget? Who could forget? Yeah. Now, this is a very important question. Who's been teaching for less than 20 years? Put up your hands. Those people, you don't remember this, do you? You don't remember those TVs on wheels, do you? Most importantly, if you've been teaching for less than 20 years, you don't know what it's like to teach without YouTube. Because YouTube was born, or at least it was introduced to the wild, in 2006. You know your YouTube history, don't you? Yes. And when this happened, everything changed. It blew me away. I was absolutely besotted by the opportunities that this new medium could offer. This online video, which was chaotic and unpredictable and sometimes even dangerous. And I created a website, and the website was called IATEFL Clips, and I'll bet nobody here remembers this. Oh, Joe, do you really remember this? Oh. IATEFL Clips was my place to share ideas for videos. The very first one I created was this: what happens next, based on the sneezing baby panda video. Maybe you remember it. Put up your hands if you do. Ah, my people. The sneezing baby panda, yes. And what happened, I just started this as a place to throw things out, maybe try some of these so-called active viewing techniques that we've spoken about, based on these new types of video forms and content, sneezing baby pandas, etc. And sometime along the way, something happened. I started to become aware of this phenomenon, this way in which people interact with video. And I call this videotelling. And I don't know if anyone here knows what videotelling is. Videotelling, quite simply, is putting video narratives back into words. So imagine, for example, you're having a coffee with a friend, a glass of wine with a colleague, etc., and the subject of a video comes up. It could be a TV advert, it could be a comedy sketch, a clip from a wildlife documentary, and you'd put it into words. You'd say, have you seen that video of the sneezing baby panda? Oh, it's brilliant. There's these two pandas and they're just sitting there, etc. And one of them sneezes. It's hilarious. And I've got an example for you. I've got an example of a video teller I caught on camera about 14 years ago. This is a master video teller in action. His name is Jack. I call him Dad. And he's like a father to me. Has anyone ever seen this video before? I have shown it a few times. A few of you, yes. So the background was I was at home visiting my parents in Scotland. My dad was cooking pasta. I know that because that's all he knows how to cook. And he told me, as he so often does, about his favourite viral video of the moment. And I said, Dad, right. I took out my phone, started recording him, say, just tell me that again. And he was very, very happy to oblige. My dad doesn't care. He's always really happy to do this, you see. And so this is my favourite ever video telling caught on camera from Jack Keddie circa 2014.
There was a little toddler in a cot, and he was obviously very clever, this little kid, and he was eyeing up the bed, and he wanted to get onto that bed because what he liked to do most of all was jump and bounce on the bed. So he managed to get his legs down through the side of the cot onto the floor, and he manipulated the whole cot across towards the bed. When he got to the bed, he got up, he got out, up onto his feet again, over the side of the cot, onto the bed, boing, 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 until his mum came and got him. And then she put him back in the cot, and he did it all over again.
Now I run courses, I run a video image and story course at Nile in Norwich. Some of you know it. And one of the mantras, colleagues over here and here, and one of the mantras in my course is there's no image without a text, there's no text without an image. Think about the most fundamental teaching aid, perhaps a flashcard. You've got an apple on one side and you've got the word apple on the other. And so here we've got this situation of a short video that's tickled my father. It's connected with him in some way or another. He's decided it's meaningful. He's decided to take this language-free video and put it into words. So imagine that apple picture, apple word. That's what my dad's doing here. Language-free video, putting into words. But when he does that, it's the story. That is video telling. And if we go back to those so-called active viewing techniques, really that's what they're all doing. In a roundabout way, we're always putting those videos into words in some way or another. Do you see what I mean? But I'd also say that video telling, in my mind, is the most fundamental way that human beings communicatively interact with video, but it's also one of the most underused or least recognized. Would you like to see the video my dad described? Okay, this is what we refer to as the moment of comparison. Because you've listened to my dad's story, you've recreated those images in your mind's cinema screen. Now it's time to watch the video. This is an opportunity for you to compare the actual moving images with the ones that you imagined here. That's why it's called the moment of comparison. Are you ready? Now, I live in Barcelona. I run a night there, actually. We finished a season of it. We call it Barcelona Videotelling. And people come up and they choose videos that I provide through QR codes. They scan them, they watch them based on a theme, and then they get up to tell their story, to tell their video, to video tell. A few months ago, we got this very special guest. You might recognise him. Same man, less hair. He got up and told us a story. It was great. Does anyone get my newsletter, the Lesson Stream Post? A few of you? Oh, thank you. Do you read it? So a couple of years ago, I sent out an invitation for my subscribers to complete a questionnaire about how you use video in your teaching. And there was a number of questions as you get in a questionnaire. One of them was, how often do you use video? And it's very possible that people who completed this questionnaire were more enthusiastic about video than the ones who didn't. So maybe this is not representative of teachers in general. But it does strike me that of all the different authentic materials that we can use in teaching, that video is the medium of the moment. That's what I've come to learn, understand as a teacher, as a trainer. That 41% of teachers use video most days. Who uses videos most days in their teaching, if indeed you are a teacher? Put up your hands. At least once a week? Once a month? Less than once a month? And anyone not a teacher? Okay, yeah, we have to ask. What kind of video content do you use? In this questionnaire, I asked teachers this. We got adverts, TED Talks, etc. back. What I found really interesting, YouTube was mentioned out of the 165 teachers who completed this questionnaire. YouTube was mentioned 27 times. TikTok was mentioned once, and Instagram didn't get a single hit. Does that surprise us? So, one of the questions in the questionnaire, and this is something you mentioned, was how do you use video? And this may not surprise you, but number one on the list, the most frequent answer to that question, how do you use video content, Marcos, was for listening. Nothing surprising there, really. Number two was using video to introduce topics. And you think you mentioned lead-in. Number three, using video for teaching grammar. And number four was introducing students to different cultures and cultural ideas, which is what you're talking about. Is that right? So, is that at all surprising? Nobody ever mentioned any of these different techniques, these active viewing techniques from the 1980s. So nobody ever mentioned that. Now, I don't know if they just didn't think about it for the purposes of the questionnaire, or perhaps if these different techniques have fallen out of fashion. And this is my opinion, so please feel free to reject or to push back. But when teachers systematically or habitually feel that they have to go online to source YouTube videos, to introduce a topic, rather than go inwards to find an own personal experience, to tell a short story lasting 90 seconds to introduce the topic, that makes me quite sad. This is, in my mind, teachers outsourcing their jobs to technology. And I understand why it happens. I really, really do. But I know there's also teachers who do this without thinking. Am I right?
Maybe because it's easier for them.
It's definitely easier, and also I think the culture sometimes suppresses the teacher. We're not supposed to talk. Teacher talk is bad. Keep it down, banish it, that kind of thing maybe. There's different ways of looking at it, but it's okay to tell stories. Some of my favourite teachers I ever had at school would engage us, curiosify us with short personal stories. I'm not talking about filling up the classroom with teacher talk. I'm talking about short and sweet. Anyway, it's now time